Okay.
What's up, guys? Luca here with the Avengers Endgame Spoilercast. I know this is kind of like a last minute thing, so I don't expect to see much of you, many of you, any of you in the chat. But I got Clifton here, one of my new bloods, and I have MM2K for the first time ever on my channel. I've been trying to get this
Yes.
bitch to come on for months now. He's been avoiding me. I don't know what's going on. Ever since the Fallout 76 fiasco, he's disappeared every time I tried to get him to come on. So there's that. But if you
You
guys want
sent
to
me in the
introduce
hiding.
yourselves.
Uh-oh. Hello? Uh-oh.
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, okay. No, my bad. No, I was saying you sent after the Fallout 76 fiasco, you sent me in the hiding, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you if you was getting into it.
No, it's fine.
Okay. It's your boy MM2K back again with another one on Luca's channel. Yeah, Luca may have beat me to the white meat about Fallout 76, but I'm back again. I want to talk this Avengers. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody think the Avengers were so lovely, so beautiful, so tear-jerky and all the other stuff. And me, Clifton, and Ash and Luca and whoever else want to hop in the octagon, we going to battle this out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready to talk about this end game.
Octagon? Yeah. What's up, Def Singer, Yobi, Novad, Poles? How's it going? All right, well, you guys can go ahead and give your thoughts and impressions of the movie. Like I said, we'll be spoiling Endgame here. And yeah, go ahead and, Clifton, give your thoughts, and then Moss, give your thoughts, and you guys can go back and forth about, like, whatever it is that you disagree on.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was a great conclusion from, like, just the whole 11 years of, like, all the movies together, and I don't think they could have done it. Well, no, they could have done a little better, but yeah, I give it like a 9 out of 10. I don't really see anything too bad with it, except for like some of the time traveling. There's some inconsistencies there, but other than that, it's pretty good.
Okay. Big ups to the homie Clifton. This is our first time podcasting together. Clifton is very, you know what I'm saying? He's on the Avengers payroll. You know what I mean? He said they couldn't do it any better. Here's the thing, man. And Clifton, let me ask you a question, bro. Are you big on the comics too, or is it just the movies, or is it a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. I read most of the big main ones.
Okay.
So I'm familiar with, like, the source material.
Now I'm like 80,000 years old. So some of the older comic material I'm used to. Some of it I've been following up on time over time. But more recently, it's just been more of the movies for me. Now I'm going to say this. The Avengers, out of all the Marvel stuff, is probably my favorite in the series. I like the first two Iron Man movies. The Spider-Man movie was cool and all the other stuff. When it comes to Infinity War specifically, I was happy. I was happy at first because I like how they portrayed Thanos. I like Guardians of the Galaxy. I like how they started him off in there. I like the whole collaboration with the Infinity Stones. I love Doctor Strange. I love the adaptation of Doctor Strange. I liked all that stuff. I liked how it was coming together. And Thanos in this universe was just like top notch. He was the pure badass. And for me, it was more gratifying for the simple fact my favorite villain of all villains of all time is Apocalypse, and they destroyed Apocalypse in that X-Men movie. They made him seem
you must not have been too happy with that then.
Oh hell no. Some English teacher. With that being said, the Infinity War, the first one was cool. To me, here's my issues with the end game. It was too photo-oppy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the action was a lot more cheesier. There was too much they did a little too much fanfare. You know what I'm saying? With the posing and all the stuff. Everything, it seemed a little cheesy. It started off okay at the beginning. Again, this is a spoiler cast, so we warn you, if you don't want to hear about the movie, then you need to go elsewhere. But at the beginning, where they came through and they gave it to Thanos while he was having his English muffins, you know what I'm saying? That was tough. I enjoyed that. Then you get into this part of the movie, Clifton, where they're trying to drum up all this dramatic feel, but it's just like it's not there. Then the movie tries to turn into Thor Ragnarok, where it got the comedy spill to it, and I feel it got a little too goofy. Then at the end, when you had the Avengers come out, you know what I'm saying, and they were fighting against Thanos' people, it was okay. But then the ending, again, it was another 20 minutes of photo op. Again, overall, I don't think it was a horrible movie. I don't think it was a bad movie. I just think it was a missed opportunity. What are your thoughts on that? Uh-oh. Clifton is going slow-mo? Oh, Clifton, you good? Oh, okay. They having technical difficulties here in the slow-mos, and the slow-mo just joined the
Can you hear
party.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay, you go.
Okay, yeah. No, I was saying I agree with your point that there were some cheesy, scenes here. Like the part where during the final battle when all the women came together, like out of nowhere, like a girl power moment. That was kind of cheesy. The whole them playing Fortnite at Thor's house, that was kind of cheesy.
Mhm.
So you had a point right there. But I don't know. I just thought it was cool. I didn't really have any problems other than that. I mean, it was
What's up,
cool.
y'all? What's up, y'all?
What's up,
What's up?
Slow-mo?
How you
What's
doing?
going on, bro? Okay, you really supposed to take point now, so I'm gonna hand it over to you.
All right,
but-
all right.
but
I mean, so far, what have we talked about?
We've gotten to the point to where we've talked about the movie. Clifton said that he liked it. You gave it a 9 out of 10, right, Clifton?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Now, just to catch you up, Slow-mo, Clifton
Okay.
gave it a 9 because he said that he really don't think that there was. I mean, there was some things he think they could have done a little bit better, but he didn't think that they needed to improve on much. My spill on it was I thought it was a little too photo op-y with a little bit of wannabe too much comedy of Thor Ragnarok, then a little bit too much of the fanfare with all the pose and the cheesiness. So I gave it a 7.5. I don't think it's horrible, but I thought it was all right. You know what I'm saying? But you could take over from that.
All right, yeah, I feel you guys. Me personally, so like I said on Twitter, I gave it a 9 out of 10. And I said that almost immediately after watching the movie. So for me, it was kind of like that was like I'm still kind of processing everything that happened, and that was like my initial reaction after seeing it, after seeing Tony Stark die, after seeing all that. 9 out of 10. And I do think that ending was very well done, but
Great ending.
my issues with it, and I'm kind of wavering, it's either between 8.5 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. And the reason why it's not like a perfect 10-10 movie to me, and the reason why I have issues are due to a couple of things. First thing, I'm really big with like plot holes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't really like plot holes. There's a plot hole, it really nags with me. It really gets on my nerves.
Right.
So when I see or when I see characters do things specifically because the plot tells them to do it, like a character that's normally very intelligent does something very dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And so like remember when they went back in time and the team of War Machine and Nebula were going to get the power stone, right?
Yeah.
So Nebula sticks her hand into the little force field thing. It shears off her flesh. She's like, yeah, I'm a G. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And Warframe acknowledges that her hand is now a skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
They have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, this isn't too far in the future, but later on, she gets switched out with her earlier self, who has her full hand. War Machine doesn't notice this. I'm like, what? Are you serious? This decorated general, this war soldier, this guy, this veteran doesn't notice that something isn't right here. I mean, just putting a little gold, metal plate on your head isn't going to fool everyone. So the second part about that I had an issue with, when Hulk is about to snap everybody back, and they're all in the room, and they all got geared up and ready in case something was going to happen. Then they locked the room down. Why wasn't anyone like, "Yo, where's Nebula at?"
Yeah, facts.
Literally every single one of them that went on that mission, every single one of them that's been fighting for 5 years to get people back, were in that room except Nebula. And she's just not, and no one says anything. Why would you let her, of all people, roam around the Avengers headquarters? There's literally no one that you want roaming around Avengers headquarters in your group more like less than her. So that part really kind of got me like, I'm sitting there like, I understand you got to get Thanos here so we can have a big fight, but I thought there was a better way to do that didn't make the characters look dumb. It was like, that's a dumb mistake that y'all made. I should have known better. My other thing is, so they established their rules for time travel, and I'm cool with it. You want to say that like when whatever happens is stuck in time, you can't change it. So I'm cool with them using that theory of time travel to explain why Thanos comes from the past to the future, gets murked, and everything that he did or was supposed to do is still set in stone. I'm cool with that. But what I'm not cool with is Captain America going back in the past, retconning Peggy Carter's story by marrying her.
Yeah.
And he's still in our timeline. Yeah. Now, if you go into what the Ancient One said, right? The Ancient Ones explained this to Hulk. She said, if you don't bring the time stone back, you create a separate timeline, which we won't be on your timeline anymore, and we're doomed because I'm not going to have the time stone for the whole Doctor Strange movie. So how is Cap going to go back in time, marry Peggy, completely erase the whole, the blonde chick that he had a crush on in Winter Soldier, who's Peggy's granddaughter? Hurt the fact that she married someone else and had a whole nother family, erased all that, and then show up there at like 80 plus years old and give the shield to Sam. I understand it's a passing the mantle moment, but you completely like contradicted your whole time travel theory by doing that. And so those are the two big things with me that made me like, yo, come on, man, you can't do that. So like for me, it's just like, all right, that's why I'm like, it was a great movie, great ending. But I gotta give it like a 8.5 or 9 out of 10 because I can't really, those two things continue to keep nagging with me.
That DC bias is just orange off you right now.
Oh, who got DC bias? Because look, I have been a Marvel fan.
The anticipated movie for you is Brightburn. Why are we doing this?
On that topic, right?
This shade has put me in a different spot. I let you know I have been an X-Men comic collector since I was 11 years old.
You said Wolverine was overrated off air. Why are we doing this?
Oh my god. Yeah, Ryan out here telling lies, man. Yo, what's up, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm good. What's going on? It's the end of an era, huh?
Pretty much, yeah.
We finally lived to see the end.
I don't know if I'm hyped for any more, to be honest.
I'm not hyped for the second saga.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel hasn't clicked with me at all.
No, pretty much no.
They thought they can save a good chunk of the movie by y'all notice how she gets redcon off a little bit into the end final boss fight. She's not in for the most of the fight, the movie. So I don't know what it is with Brie. I think it was Brios. What's her name? Brie
Larson.
Brie Larson. I'm not sure who it is with Brie Larson at all and her attitude with the films, because she's even talking about directing her own Marvel film.
Wait, has she directed before?
I have no clue. I don't follow her, but she's talking about, directing a Marvel film, and they're actually on board with letting it happen. So,
but she has directed some stuff with Netflix recently. So she does have some experience with it, and I'm pretty sure Marvel, isn't trying to anger.
That crowd.
Yeah. So they're gonna go ahead and let her do it. But I mean, the thing is that she's not completely inexperienced. Like, it's not going to be.
Yeah.
Like what is this?
I heard you were saying about the timeline with Cap, him creating a whole timeline. Well, you got to think about it right here. Now, what was the main thing Peggy screwed up with when she thought he was dead? She let the dude who was Red Skull's partner, right, in S.H.I.E.L.D. And he was part of the S.H.I.E.L.D. Remember the original S.H.I.E.L.D.? And it was the parasite that affected it, and he basically created Hydra out of S.H.I.E.L.D. low-key. And nobody knew. Yeah. Basically, what he did was he went back in time. He told Peggy the truth about what was going to happen about that particular individual who was Red Skull's and partner.
Right.
She put him away, right? He's no longer part of the thing. Now I do agree it does kind of set up a few things. For example, who was the real father of Peggy's daughter?
Yeah, because there's a theory that Cap
was it always Cap?
all along.
Like look, that makes you wonder, was it always Cap? Maybe this was all part of the timeline to begin with. Because remember, you never know who Peggy Carter marries in the movies. All you know is that she has married, right? She was married and she popped out a few kids. And one of the particular kids ended up having a crush on who? Captain America. But we never knew who the father was.
Well,
Maybe
it was her.
all
It was
intentional to begin with.
It wasn't.
But that still
her
causes issues in the timeline because Cap showed up to Peggy's funeral. So he's there at the funeral. If he's really her, well, first of all, he was,
it erases it. To be honest with you, it might erase it. Maybe he does.
No, it doesn't erase it because this is what they explained in their explanation of how time travel works. It's not erased.
Yeah,
you don't erase anything that happens. You just kind of like you if you go back and change something, you create a new time,
a new ripple.
Unless she doesn't die.
And the reason why I said I have a problem with it because he goes back into time. He marries Peggy. He should be on a new timeline. Therefore, he should not even be. It should not be possible for him to actually be there. To when Hulk flipped the switch again, where he was supposed to come back, and it was like he didn't come back. It shouldn't have been possible for him to show up there.
Yeah, I don't know
because he's on a different timeline.
Yeah, true. You know the problem with the film though. Like to be honest with you, even though this is the end, I don't know if it's just me. I just didn't care that much to really go back and really think about that because you really wanted to see Cap have that special ending. You wanted to see him go off with a standoff. Nobody wanted to see him die on the battlefield. Like remember that epic scene where he puts on the shattered shield again? He's like, you know what? I'm ready to fight this Legion, right? And then all of a sudden, the Avengers literally assemble. And then the first time ever in the series, you hear him say, "Avengers assemble." Like that is an epic moment. But you kind of just want to see him, have that perfect ending. And me personally, I mean, it didn't bother me as much to a lot of people.
Yeah. Look, these are minor nitpicks, and like I said, this is for me. It's like I'm the kind of guy like
you see logical
and I'm like, oh, that kind of messes with my I can't let it go, but I still like I understand why they did it because they had to pass the torch to either Sam or Bucky.
And there was another little gap too. Now, you guys remember Infinity War, Thor was on level 3000 against Thanos, right? Like Stormbreaker was going through the gauntless beams with ease. Yeah, in the final battle, was he doing that against that little spear that he had?
No, well, you can make
the argument have like an additional 60 pounds on him.
Yeah, you can make the argument that he was
this is the strongest weapon ever made in the honor of Asgard, and this weapon is not even so much a scratch on.
I was confused. The Thanos without the Infinity Stone,
right?
Was giving it more than the Thanos at the end of Infinity War. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I think he was a little bit of younger, more motivated Thanos at that time. He hadn't got any of the stones yet. And
no, that's crazy though. Because remember, he like literally at the start of this film, he one shot Thanos. He chopped his head off. He's like, "What did you do?" I aim for the head. It just leaves. Like, okay, you can do that there. How come you couldn't do that right now? Like,
and to tie it back to the comics, like Thanos in the comics, like no Infinity Gauntlet Thanos in the comics is straight like
savage
solo. Curb stomped the Avengers multiple times with Thor there, with all like even more powerful Avengers like Blue Marvel and Sentry around. Like like this is the kind of dude. This is the dude that took on Black Bolt, took Black Bolt's voice to the face. And was like, "That's all you got," and just started slamming his head into the ground. So I know that's all like a bunch of comic stuff, but like it didn't really.
It sets the
it sets the tone for me that like he could be wrecking all these guys.
I'm shocked how they treated. I'm glad they were like at least realistic with Captain Marvel versus Thanos. Remember how she was like going against the 1-on-1, and she like took his the gauntlet like down. She had it pinned down. And he pulled out the Power Stone and like knocked her out. Like that was cool. I'm glad they at least were realistic with Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is strong, but she ain't that damn strong. They need to
she's not. She's not invincible. She can't. She's not unbeatable. You know.
I mean,
makes you wonder
why. Ship, sure, she destroys his ship. That's cool, but I mean, no, you're not one-on-one in this, man. Like,
Yeah, no.
But it's to me, for someone that ain't as knowledgeable as who's at what power level, it brings you back to what type of consistency is going on in there. Because at the end of Captain Marvel, made it seem like that she was going to be able to go one
God
up,
save her, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So like, it was
Not
like,
even
what
close.
was the purpose of going through that? I'm sorry, that horrible ass movie.
Me personally, like I thought maybe people were just being like, you just think people were just being assholes because what she said in the past. But I watched it again, just sat down, just really sat down and watched it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. It's not a film that I would recommend for you to watch as like a hardcore, like at least as a serious installment in the series. You know what I'm saying? I would rather you watch the first Ant-Man than watch Captain Marvel. The first Ant-Man at least has some continual. You know what I'm saying? Something in it that made you go, you know what? This is dope. I like that. They got Falcon in this. Yep. It's cool. It's funny. Captain Marvel just fell flat. I mean, sure, with some references to our past, like blockbusters. That's cool. That was cool to see that. But do you really care at the end of the day?
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I skipped Captain Marvel and just went on YouTube and looked up the extra cutscenes that actually related.
By the way, you're angry too, by the way, because you don't like plot holes. What did Nick Fury say when he was talking to, I think it was Tony Stark, when he was like, "Last time I trust somebody, I lost an eye," right?
Yeah.
You get the answer to that in Captain Marvel, and won't you tell him, Mighty Moss, how did you lose his eye?
Yeah, from a goddamn alien cat.
A cat. Now, does that make any sense?
No.
He said the last time I quote unquote trusted someone, I lost an eye.
Well, you're upset because he embellished the truth. Wow, a soldier embellished the truth. Happens all the time.
Yeah. But look, you would think it'd be like this epic betrayal you're going to get.
Well, let me answer your question about Thor. Is that, remember, Thor wasn't completely back. I mean, he was packed on about 100 pounds, and Thanos is more powerful than him. And that's now Captain Marvel actually, he had to use an Infinity Stone just to hit her because she was overpowering him. So, but Kevin Feige said years ago that she will be the most powerful Avenger to date, and she showed that she was. Very matter of fact about herself. That's what a lot of people like.
Had more of a showing than her in this movie. I think.
Well, go back to Infinity War when the Captain America has Thanos' glove at the very end, and he's just pushing down on him. He just knocks Captain America out. When Captain Marvel, he did try to do the same thing to her, and she got up and pushed him down to one knee. So she was overpowering him. And she also had him in a headlock at the beginning of the movie. It could have just snapped his neck.
Yeah, but that all that stuff is canon. Like, she's supposed to be that powerful.
Yeah,
I did have a question for you guys. Like, how did you guys feel about Scarlet? That's about to say Scarlet Witch. Black Widow died.
Yeah.
I saw it coming.
It could have been Hawkeye, but it made sense it was her. Because what really could she do in the final battle aside from have like that little female fight? Remember how on the female Avengers assembled?
Yeah,
I mean, it'll basically be a carbon copy of what we saw in Infinity War, right? It'll be the exact same thing, minus Pepper Potts. It'll be the exact same thing.
Pretty much.
But how was that going to affect? There's all those rumors again, and again that maybe they were just rumors, but there was all those rumors about her show.
Yeah,
there were rumors about what?
Her show on the Disney Channel.
I heard she's getting a movie. I heard
it's supposed to be a prequel too. It's supposed to be a prequel.
It's likely going to be a prequel. Yeah. So I mean, that's fine.
She's getting a movie. That might be her last appearance because remember, a lot of people who got killed off in here, their contracts are up.
She got one more. She
got one more movie, so that makes sense. She would get a prequel as one last hurrah, and then she'll be done with the series.
And Chris Hemsworth is negotiating 2 more movies.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he's definitely going to be back. He's very popular as Thor, and then he fits well. Yeah. He fits well with that dynamic with the Guardians because you saw the humor in Thor Ragnarok, and then just imagine like him with in the Guardians. That's going to be like their scenes together have always kind of been like it's pretty funny. And I know some people don't really like it, and the Infinity movies. not Infinity movies, the Avenger movies, all that comedy. But when you watch one of those movies, you know what you're getting into. You know you're getting into. It's going to be action, but it's going to be, you know, a little bit more lighthearted than say a Captain America movie where, you know, he's just like scowling at everything and so serious about, you know, life and whatnot. So, but I thought her dying was it made sense.
Caught me off guard. Yeah, caught me off guard. But, you know,
all the deaths, the two deaths both caught me off guard. I had no idea they were going to die.
Well, I kind of figured Tony probably killed off because this was his last one on contract. Just like I figured they probably would kill Captain America off and give the shield to the Winter Soldier.
Yep.
But they actually did the other comic book where his sidekick Falcon becomes Captain America.
So that is a comic. I know that sounds stupid, but I didn't understand it. That confused the hell out of me.
It's two Captain Americas in the comics. Like, well, technically it's three. The first one who replaces Captain America, like, if you want to go strictly by comics, if I remember correctly, it was the Winter Soldier.
It's Winter Soldier.
It was Winter Soldier
becomes the first successor to Captain America,
and he wasn't that good as Cap.
Yeah, he wasn't that good, and he was like more aggressive in combat, more deadly in combat, and I guess the government didn't like that, if I remember correctly, and they hired somebody else who ended up being Falcon. And Falcon became Captain America.
It was also like he
kind of like Batman.
Bucky's also now a leader. Like Cap was the leader of the Avengers, and like when he put on that shield, like everybody was looking towards him to like lead the Avengers, and he's like, I'm not really trying to do that. I'm putting the shield on for my boy, but I'm not here to be like telling y'all what to do, and I really don't know.
All right, two quick things on that. Two quick things. These were Easter eggs. One, the outfit that Captain America had on when he went back to 1970, it said Roscoe on it. That is pretty much, I think that's an homage to Roscoe Simmons. He also played Captain America when he was down. And the Winter Soldier could not be Captain America. He has murdered so many people.
Yeah, he's a goddamn terrorist.
So there's no way.
Oh, and speaking of murder, we now know why he couldn't lift Mjolnir. Remember how everybody had that $1 million question in Age of Ultron why he couldn't lift that hammer? We all thought maybe he's not worthy. Actually, the problem was he's actually worthy. His mind wasn't right. His mind.
I just thought he was trying to spare Thor's feelings.
That's what I thought too.
No, he really tried to lift it, and he did move it a little bit, and Thor had that look on his face, like what?
Oh my God, like
yeah, I thought he clipped the whole time. He just didn't want to hurt Thor's feelings.
I think it's because of Civil War.
Let's be honest, though.
That hammer came out though. Killed it.
No, Fonz, you have something to say?
I said, let's be honest though. Even though Sam is the Captain America, he'll never replace Chris Evans' Captain America, and
nobody will.
There's a big hole. There's a big hole left here for me. It's
absolutely
never going to be the same. I just feel like this is unfortunately. Going forward with the MCU without Tony, without Captain America, without Black Widow,
not the same, right?
It's not the same.
I'll probably go into just looking at the Spider-Man films. That's probably how I'm going to look at it from this point forward.
And just to give my whole thought process on the entire movie itself, because I don't know if you guys just said you liked it or whatever. I loved it. I thought it was a fantastic movie. I thought a lot of people are saying, "Oh, the beginning is boring." I didn't find it boring. Now, here's the thing. Did I find it a little slow at times? Sure. There were things I think that they could have cut, but honestly, it would have only been like a 10-minute cut in the movie, in the entire movie, because it was just silly things that I think that they could have cut. But for the most part, there was so many important moments that happened in the first half where people are saying was trash that I think that they were not watching with their eyes open or listening. Right. Because there was a lot of important dialogue, a lot of closure, and a lot of great moments that happened that I think that were imperative to this whole film. And it just, this is a culmination of 11 years. And we're sitting here, this was our generation's Star Wars, original Star Wars. We will never get something on this scale again. This is what we have within the Marvel universe anyway. Hopefully one day DC, take notes. But anyway, it was just amazing what we witnessed. And, it became my favorite Marvel movie, not because it was the most well-written, not because it was because to me, Winter Soldier was the top when it comes to well-written movies. But this became my favorite Marvel movie because of all the closure, all the big important moments, and that ending. That hour, that battle was freaking phenomenal.
Yeah, nerdgasm.
Phenomenal.
Nerdgasm.
Just the scope of the movie and how it ended. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I mean,
never in my life.
On the chat, man. Like,
the only thing I can liken this to is 16 years ago when we got the Lord of the Rings battle.
Yeah,
that was epic. This surpassed it by miles. And I
watched the second one. Hold on, the second one, Franz, or the third Lord of the Rings? Yeah.
How did people in the audience sound on your guys' end? Because I remember everybody just gasped when they heard Sam on the microphone. Dude. When he's like, "Hey, Cap, on your left," everybody was like, and then
audience was great. Audience was super.
I was really impressed with the first audience, not so much with the second audience I was with the first audience, because I watched the movie twice within 24 hours. The first time I watched it, I was in a theater with people that it almost felt like family. And it was crazy because everything that I was thinking, somebody would blurt out, or somebody would, and a lot of times you don't want people to be talking through a movie or whatever, but it was like they were doing it so on point where it didn't bother the movie at all. And it just felt like you were with family just going, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening." Everybody was excited, happy. Oh, when Captain America lifted that hammer. Oh my God, the roof came off that building, right?
Yeah.
And then at the same note, when Tony was dying and Pepper Potts is sitting there saying, "We'll be okay. You can rest now."
Oh, I teared up when she said
the sniffling in that entire audience was just crazy. It was almost just as deafening as the screaming and stuff, because you heard people just like sighing and crying, and you heard there was this little boy in there that had to be escorted out by his mom because he was bawling so loud. But we were like, "It's okay, little man. We understand. We feel it. We feel it."
That's interesting, because like when Tony was dying, you couldn't hear it. You could hear a pin drop. It was so quiet. It was just, everyone was just like
they were so into it, like
breathing. They were just holding their breath. Yeah. It was that like, and in a way I was like, nah, maybe they're gonna fake us out. Maybe he's gonna live. No, he's dead.
With the you know that award that Pepper gives Tony at the start of the first one, when he has that prototype heart, like proof that Tony has a heart. Yeah, I think they was probably reaching for the heartstrings a little too much for that.
Yeah, kind of.
A little bit.
They get the little barrel. Like, it was cool.
Yeah, the movie, but Ryan, the movie is an ode to Tony Stark. Even if you say to the end, when it says Marvel 10, you hear 10 claims of Tony Stark making his Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
So it was, and he got the biggest ovation when they signed out, which hasn't been done since Star Trek 6. When they signed out.
He deserves it too, because
I agree.
The first Iron Man started all of this. And that first Iron Man movie wasn't as good as it was, and if Robert Downey Jr. didn't absolutely knock out the role of Tony Stark the way he did, we wouldn't be here. After all,
I agree.
Well, the second one, actually, the second one's slow mo, because remember, Incredible Hulk came out after Iron Man, and it did not do well financially. It underperformed. It didn't flop. It underperformed, and then we got Iron Man 2, and they let out, "Hey, look, if we want an Avengers movie, we gotta go see this."
Right.
So,
and it was a little bit different in my theater. Like I think people were kind of getting worn with a lot of the dramatic stuff and a lot of the Ragnarok type comedy. And when it looked like Thanos' army was about to overrun them, because it looked like everybody was going down. It looked like Game of Thrones instead of the Avengers for 1 second. And then you saw the circles coming in and Black Panther. There was a standing ovation in my theater.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. But see, I tell you what, though, that shows you how much people were into it. And Jay Fonz said family. And it literally feels like this is an extension of your family. I mean, this movie made $1 billion in 72 hours.
And let me tell you something that I'm shocked at, because I go to this small theater that's near me that like it's rarely ever packed, ever.
Oh, dude.
And this movie was packed both times to the gills, no seat empty. It was crazy. And I was just sitting there just blown away. Going,
like a family reunion. You just saying goodbye one last time.
22 movies made $22 billion.
And that's when I knew right away. I said, this movie is going to make so much money.
Dude, it took me an hour and a half to get in the movie.
Past Avatar.
1.2 billion already.
Yep. And he was literally,
it hasn't even fired up all the way yet. You know what I'm saying? It's still there. Like the love was there for the franchise. It shows.
It's sold out this coming weekend. Derby weekend.
I would say the MCU is this generation Star Wars.
Yep.
I'd say it's beyond that.
I just hope DC takes notes and betters their films, and hopefully they are on the right track.
Ryan, there's nothing DC can do. And I'll give you an example when Shazam was tracking up, and then as soon as Infinity War tickets went on sale, nobody talked about Shazam.
That's because
they get
Captain
better.
Marvel's beating Shazam by like
that's
50%.
Marvel has such a big head start. You know what I'm saying? That I'm like, okay, this is over. Right. But I'm telling you, Titans is fantastic. I love Titans. If they stay on that track.
Let me ask you guys something, the panel. What was your feeling when Cap's standing there, all beat up? He sees this big army, and then you hear, "Hey, Cap, on your left."
Yeah, I was like, "Whoa!"
Took him long enough.
That's an Easter egg. That's an Easter egg from like all the Captain Marvel movies when he's like Sam's. He's like on your left and he's running around him on the track real fast.
Of course, and that made me get emotional just hearing that because I was like, oh my god, they're bringing this stuff into this movie, and that's why this movie meant so much to me. Because watching all these movies numerous times, man, I didn't watch. There's certain movies I didn't watch a bunch of times. Dark World is one of them. I saw it once and totally hated it. But all these other movies were so good that I watched them several times. And like just knowing the little bits, the little Easter eggs here and there, getting understanding what they're referring to. On your left, and then the Avengers assemble. Oh my god!
There's a question in the chat. I mean, there's a question in the chat real quick.
Go ahead.
Mega Bad Seed asks us, did anyone else feel the Hulk was wasted in Endgame?
No.
I don't think he was wasted.
I like this new version of Hulk.
Wait, Clifton, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say I didn't think he was wasted, but I did want to see him kind of like clap back at Thanos from Infinity War.
Facts.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to happen.
I think he did though, because he was the one that put on the gauntlet. So I mean,
Yeah, but like I just wanted him I wanted him to give like Thanos that 2-piece, like just from Infinity War. That's all
I saw it like this. They killed off mostly all of the charming, you know what I'm saying, superheroes and villains.
I would say Vision.
Well, they have to make way in for the next phase for the
exactly.
I think that they're going to come out with like the all female version of the Avengers, the A-Force.
I don't think so. Well, they'll probably try. I know Gwyneth Paltrow. She's not playing Pepper Potts no more. She's done.
Yeah, but I mean, literally, they basically introduced her character as Rescue. So like, it's just going to be like Iron Man.
But that was a one-time thing. She's not coming back to play anything else.
So, Wilson, what do you think of the movie? If you're still there, if you didn't walk away because no one would let you speak.
No. The thing is, try to be respectful and make sure my mic doesn't mess up.
No, you're fine.
The movies, I gave it like a 7 out of 10.
That's good too. Yeah.
Well, in my case, it's different because I came from comic book feeling way, so I will never get the point that they'll make Thanos his actual real powers without the glove. Because I was like, oh, he could do more than just punch somebody and be stronger than the Hulk throughout the whole movie.
That is true. Yeah,
true. Yeah. But going back to that question about Hulk, do I think he was wasted? I think that he wasn't wasted. Professor Hulk is in the comics. I like Professor Hulk. I have no problem with that. The problem I have is that I miss old Hulk as well. I miss Smash Hulk. And I wish that he would have gotten a few licks in on Thanos, at least a couple of punches or something to really do something to redeem himself besides just the snap. That's cool and all, but I wanted to see more Hulk
but
smash.
You know what? To be honest,
he helped figure out time travel. That was big.
No, of course, but I'm just saying. He
wants the Ragnarok Hulk.
I want to see him get down and destroy stuff.
Hulk got it so bad in the first one, it was traumatizing, man. It was like, Hulk, you sit this one out a little bit. And you got some of the back in time. Though. Remember when he was mad because he had to walk down the steps. That part, I like that part.
Yeah, that was I thought he was wasted as well. And what's up, guys? Hi, I was doing
Hello.
stuff.
He did hold up a mountain though.
But I would say that I really enjoyed the movie. This is, in my opinion, the best superhero movie ever made. I mean, it's not my favorite,
I agree.
but I think it's the best one ever made. And that's just my opinion. You're free to disagree. And I don't care about anyone else's opinion, so there's that. But I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm gonna go see it again next week if I can find seats with my friend. The theater I went to, they had signs up saying that we're sold out in all theaters, so don't ask for fucking tickets for this movie.
Wow.
And it was a really emotional and excited, really hype crowd, because I went to see it opening day, so Thursday night.
Yeah.
And there was people cheering, people crying. It was screaming out. Like, honestly, when Kat picked up Mjolnir, everyone was super hype in the theater. When Sam was like, to your left, oh my God, I was like, bitch. And then when it was T'Challa and Shuri and Okoye, we were all clapping and screaming. When Tony was like, when Thanos was like, I am inevitable, and then Tony was like, I am Iron Man, and I was like, bitch, it was so cool. Like, it was super hype. Yeah. Like, and then I know people talk about the first half of the movie being boring and slow, but it's kind of like
it has to be.
50% of the population is dead. Do you expect them to be, oh, it's fine, we're just gonna go and do something, let's be hyped, let's all fight scene, no emotion? Like, is that what people?
And Luca, let me ask you, did you catch the director when Cap was doing his that when he was talking to those people, the director coming out saying openly gay character
Jim
in
Starlin's
the
there too.
MCU?
Yeah,
Jim Starlin, the guy who made
Thanos,
and made like pretty much the whole like cosmic part of Marvel.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Like, people saying the first half was boring, and I'm like, okay, so do you want them to not be depressed about everyone dying? And then honestly, Tony's reaction to the entire thing was like, no, we could have done something, Cap, but you wanted to be this guy. And honestly, first of all, Captain America's been pissing me off since Civil War, so there's that. But it's just like, I was totally on Tony's side for that, because all of this tragedy could have been fucking avoided if he had just destroyed the stone in Vision's fucking forehead. But no, he was like, we don't say you face my life. And I'm like, okay.
Luca,
listen.
That's how it sounded too.
Okay.
Yeah, but technically only Scarlet Witch could, you know what I'm saying? She was the one that had to ultimately decide to kill him or not.
She should have fucking decided to do that shit then.
Hey, you can't blame Captain America.
I am going to blame Captain America for it, because he was all like, no, it's fine. It's
put
okay.
the responsibility where it lies.
No. He was like, oh, no, it's okay. And at the end of the day, as she is she's growing in her power and her confidence, she's still someone who was brought in by all of them, and she still looks to them for leadership. So I don't really blame her for not fucking murdering Vision when she should have and had the chance. It was Cap saying, no, it's okay, we'll find out a different way. We'll find a different way.
And Luca, I don't know if you heard, but earlier I was talking about the first half of the film being very important because of all the closures, the important big moments, the dialogue and stuff that happened.
About what happened with Nebula and Tony at the beginning with the game?
Oh, yes. So a lot of people watch this, scene with Tony and Nebula, and they're playing that little football game, and people are just like, oh, that's cute, right? But the more you think about that scene, it was very, very important because to Nebula, somebody who's never had anything fair in her life, and him playing this game and then saying, you won fair game, it really like took her by surprise. Like, wow, nobody's ever treated me like that.
That's very true.
It was a good point. Very good point.
And there was a lot of little moments like that through the first half that people just overlook, or they're asleep and they're like, oh, this first half sucks. It's like,
look, I gotta be honest. People who are like that, people who like just get into the action, these people don't understand story development. They don't understand character development. They don't really get those little details. And quite honestly, I'm not going to speak ill of anyone.
I feel that way.
Straight up, like,
wait, let someone finish his point.
Just straight up, like a lot of people who talk like that, they don't always seem to be the brightest bulb in the bunch to me.
There is one rebuttal to that, because they say it's 22 movies of character building, so they didn't really care for that point.
Yeah, but no, that's not correct because this is there's 20 movies of character building, but there's 20 movies of them dealing with that kind of loss, and it shows where they were and who they were when they decided to go out and assassinate Thanos, and the disappointment of realizing we killed them, but it changes nothing. Because he already destroyed the ring.
There's one little problem with that. At the beginning of the movie, when Thanos says, "Since I already killed 50% of the population, let me just destroy these so no one can mess with me no more." That's after that point, everybody will shut off. They're like, "What's gonna happen now?" That's why most people shut up right there. And you start saying this movie's taking too long.
Yeah, but that's the thing that's what engrossed you into the movie for me anyway, because it made me think, what can happen next? What are they going to do? Right?
Plus, it's
the tone of the whole movie,
and plus it's like it really has to be impactful and show like, hey, this hasn't been 5 days, it hasn't been 5 weeks, it hasn't been 5 months, it's been 5 fucking years. The impact of the mistakes that we made are everlasting. Like that is something that cannot be stressed enough. They failed, and this is the first time they've been Avengers. They've come together and they've fought off a big evil force, and they failed. And you know what? Like people were talking about Thor and how they didn't like him in the movie and all this shit. First of all, okay, let's break it down. He lost his mom. He lost his dad. He lost his brother. He was exiled from his home. He was able to come back. Wait, I'm not done. He was able to come back. And then fucking Hela comes like, hey, what's good? Yeah. What's good, motherfucker? I'm your long lost sister. Hold on. Let me just enslave one half of your people and get them to work for me. And then let's destroy your entire fucking world. Oh, okay. The people that you brought onto the ship with you. Yeah. Thanos is going to come on the board and fucking murder everyone. There's nothing you can do. You are weak. I'm going to murder your brother in front of you. Oh, okay. I'm going to do what I can to find a weapon to beat him. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. Oh, JK, I fucking failed because I didn't hit the head. Oh no, I failed. I lost everyone. I failed at everything. Of course, I'm fucking depressed. Like, come on. Do you guys not care about character development?
You know what? Let me play devil's advocate for the casuals that watch the movie, because
I don't care about the casuals.
I know a lot of casuals that watched it, and see what happened is this whole Marvel universe dragged in so many of them that they don't understand the lore and the history of story development. All they know is swirling hammers and light beams. You know what I mean?
22 other movies.
They don't need to read the comics to understand everything that Lucas said what happened in the movies. So this is like, I mean, even if you didn't watch all the Thor movies, they call out and talk about all the stuff that happened. So even if you just watched Infinity War and watch the beginning part of Endgame, you already saw all Thor's people slaughtered on the ship. You saw his brother killed right in front of him.
His best friend
mess up. Yeah, you saw him not go for the head and allow the snap to happen. Yeah, I can see the guy being depressed, realizing I'm a loser.
Plus, given how powerful he is, and I've been thinking about this. So the amount of calories he would have to consume to develop to get beer butt like that, like he would have to be drinking gallons upon gallons upon. I don't give a fuck.
The casuals not thinking like that. They know swirls a hammer.
This movie is not for. This movie's not for casuals.
Well, she's right. No, she's right. This was a payoff.
Kind of is for casuals.
Well, no, it's not.
It's not for casuals.
There's a Peggy Carter.
It brings up everything that happened in the previous movies. A casual is someone who hasn't watched these movies, who watched maybe 5 of the movies out of the 22. A casual is someone who doesn't keep up with the lore. This movie is not for casuals.
Maybe I used the wrong term.
All of the callbacks that they did were for us, for fans of all of these movies who have been, all the hype moments were for us, the fans who actually watched all these movies. I'm sorry, this movie's not for casuals.
Casuals have checked out by now.
It was a love letter to us fans who've been with the series for 11 years now.
Yeah, and I watched
the little kid who's 11 years old watching it.
Yeah, the casuals are the ones. The casuals are the ones that were hating on the first half of this movie. Okay,
yes,
because the casuals didn't understand most of the references and most of the dialogue that was going on, and most of the character fucking development. I think a lot of people were asleep during the first half of the movie, or they were just playing casuals that don't understand any of it because they didn't follow along closely to this whole 11-year period, this saga we were able to witness, this amazing freaking epicness. And I'm sorry, it was a love letter to us, those who were watching this the whole time.
And I watched Agent Carter, and I felt like, and to see that get paid off was like, wow, they really did.
Yeah,
they brought back Jarvis from the TV show.
Crossbones make a return before he was Crossbones, and he goes Hail Hydra, and he gets the cube. That was pretty cool.
That was like, I don't expect a casual to know that. So
they're like,
I don't know that he's
why they give it to him just for saying that? I don't understand. Watch Winter Soldier, then you'll get it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was Winter Soldier.
I think the movie is meant to be like their crown and jewel that they're going to build all of the movies going forward and backwards from. Because if you know, they're introducing the multiverse. They're introducing.
Mega Batseed asked a question. Hold on. He asked. Let's see here. I saw it and then I stopped.
You talking about where he says it's for the hardcore?
No. He asked me. He asked us, was Captain Marvel not in the movie enough? I thought she could have been utilized more. Okay, let me answer this first. Hold on. I think she was in enough because the biggest issue I saw these bitch niggas fucking complaining about online was about her coming in and taking over and being the one directing everyone and being cocky and arrogant. No one wanted to see that. So she was in the movie for like 12 minutes total, not even. I think she was in
like 20.
And I think she still pulled it off though with her attitude. I mean,
she was barely in the movie.
I like the way she started with that attitude. Well, she started with that attitude, and immediately you saw Black Widow check her and say, "Hey, we do things differently here. We're a team, right?" And that's what set the tone here for the rest of the movie with her. And look, she went off and did her own damn thing. She was like, "I'm going to go do something else. You guys do what you do here on Earth." And then she came back later to help out, which was cool. Whatever.
But even if you notice, then her attitude was more like, what's here's going on here is too small for you. Get what I'm saying? Your problems are too small.
Yeah. I don't think she was saying that at all. She was saying that there are other worlds that don't have you guys, that don't have you guys to help. So I'm gonna go help out those other worlds. It doesn't have any. First of all, I know that this is hard to believe, but when it comes to other life forms, human beings are not the end all be all. There are other people that need help too.
Well, we could relate that. We could relate that to, say, America in a third world country. It's the same thing.
Well, I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, if there's, first of all, the Avengers, I think they've done enough to help, right? So her going off to help other people, which is what she's been doing all of this time anyway. It's something that she's used to. It makes sense to me.
Well,
like, okay,
cool.
cool.
About her saving Tony and Nebula, though. Would y'all prefer if it was Pepper and the rest?
No, that was perfect. Because she's only one who can do it. And if Luca is right, these man babies. I mean, what they don't like about her is her matter of factness. Even when she got this, when she said Peter Parker, hello,
you got for me.
She knows she's the most powerful person there. So that's when Thor got his hammer or got Stormbreaker, she balled up her fist like, you better get the fuck out of my face.
And the thing of it is, at the end of the day, yes, she's very arrogant, but I'm not certain that she's gonna stay that way, to be honest. I think she's gonna get a hit to her confidence level. First of all, Thanos pulling out the Power Stone and bitch slapping her. I think that's a good wake up. That's one wake up call. So it's like it was humbling her. Like, hopefully, like I've talked to Fonz about this. Her next movie, they do a better job at writing. And to be quite frank, Captain Marvel did not have to come out before this movie.
No,
I think you're kind of right though, Luca, because I think in their second movie, if you notice in Infinity Wars 1, the guy that comes down off the ship, I forget his name, with the fucking hammer thing or the axe, he has Captain Marvel's sash, like he's wearing it as a belt. So she gets her ass kicked by somebody's from Thanos's.
Well, they said that wasn't true. They didn't say that. They said that was a mistake. They did. I know what you're talking about. That got cleared up, though.
Okay, and then one more thing. Also, Tony started off arrogant.
Yes.
Thor started off arrogant.
Facts.
I think it was
Star-Lord. Star-Lord was arrogant.
Star-Lord started off arrogant.
Well, he's still arrogant. I mean,
So where were the complaints about them? Like, I understand where you're coming from, but let's not act like these guys haven't had several movies to develop as characters. They all started off extremely arrogant, and now, Tony especially getting drunk in his Iron Man suit, fucking making proposals himself.
But
Like,
here's
come
the-
on.
but here's the
Thor
thing.
got kicked off his goddamn planet because of his arrogance. Like, she needs the chance to grow as a person.
True. My only issue with the whole her being arrogant was the fact that they shoehorned her into this storyline. I didn't like that. That's what pissed me off about her character, her movie. It didn't need to be there. You know, they could have just had her come in the way she came in this movie, right?
I agree.
It would have been
Yes,
like, oh,
I
cool.
agree.
But the one thing that pisses me off about her in this movie, the only thing was the fact that she didn't show up just a little bit earlier because Scarlet Witch had Thanos on the ropes. Scarlet Witch,
that was brutal what she was doing to him. I mean, just making
finally show her powers.
Finally, she was amazing.
Scarlet Witch finally got what she deserved. That power that we know she had. In the
we all know Vision's coming back though because Shuri downloaded him into her computer. So
yeah, I just honestly, like I said, I really enjoyed the movie. I'm happy Captain Marvel was barely in it because, like, God forbid she was, because I don't want to hear people. I'm tired of people bitching about her.
But
so
I'm
just
to get over it.
Yeah,
she's probably going to be one of the leaders, or maybe the leader of
going forward.
The Avengers going forward. So.
That's what Kevin Feige's already said, that she's going to lead the team.
Yeah, that's fucking unfortunate.
Fonz, I got a question for you. Being an older person, your favorite cameo, Howard the Duck?
Hey, but look at it this way. I've been trying to rack my brain on this situation.
What's up, Royal?
If she, if she's going to lead the team, I mean, to be honest, who else is going to lead the team now? Now that Cap and Tony and Black Widow are gone, Black Widow was essentially leading the team for the last 5 years. So
T'Challa can lead their team.
He's not going to leave his people.
Yeah,
he can't be a full-time Avenger.
Shuri actually in the comics takes on mantle of the Black Panther, so he might stay to rule Wakanda, and she'll become.
That ain't happening.
It's going to take some time if they get to that point.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
I
feel
don't think
like
that's going to happen.
The best course of action with Captain Marvel. First of all, she's used to working alone because she's so powerful. So that's one thing, right? But second of all, I think that it's going to take time for her to realize, like, oh shit, I can rely on other people. Other people can help me. I can be a decent person. Like, she needs to learn how to grow as a fucking person because, like I said, I was fine with the Captain Marvel movie. Honestly, I have a bit of a crush on Captain Marvel. She's super hot, but the thing of it is, right? She just needs to be humbled. She's way too arrogant, and she's gonna get that Achilles heel moment. It's gonna happen. So I'm willing to wait and see how it works out because, like I said, the rest of them were arrogant as fuck, and then in a lot of respects, Cap is really arrogant too because he always thinks he knows better and he always does something, but sometimes he fucks up tremendously.
But let's mention how
great avoided if he just told Tony the truth.
Yeah,
Captain America was really good in this movie, especially
he was great.
At the end. Look, I thought because I heard people bitching about his ending, I thought his ending was beautiful, and
I did too. And hold on, here's an Easter egg again. The song that was playing when they were dancing, I believe that was the song that was played at the end of World War II that got interrupted. When they said the war was over.
That's probably true. Now, I was complaining about his ending, but although I still liked it, I still have to acknowledge it contradicts their reasoning for time travel.
Okay, what do you mean?
I don't disagree with that.
Explain.
Okay, so they explained that in time travel that if you change something in the past, it creates a new timeline, right?
And it did.
And like a butterfly effect.
Let me tell you.
Okay, wait.
I think the timeline is screwed up because of him staying back behind. And I think this is a way they're going to cop out to introduce new characters to the MCU.
But Fonz, he can't be there back at that moment.
Oh, he had to jump back
to Sam if he's in a different timeline that he's created by going back and staying and marrying Peggy. It's too as the ancient one explained to the Hulk. If you don't bring this time stone back, now having the time stone changes things that should have happened. It's a new timeline. He left Peggy, because he was nice.
I know, but what happened? What happened in their timeline already had happened. So when he went back and he stayed with Peggy, he just stayed through. and got older. And at the end of the movie, because a lot of people were under the assumption that
he jumped
they brought him back. They brought him back as an old man. They didn't bring him back. He stayed there. So basically, he met them there.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. He can't stay in here. He created a new timeline.
He jumped back there, lived his life with her, and then after she died, because he's Captain America, he's not going to die.
You guys aren't listening to what I'm saying.
I get what Slow-Mo's saying. Like, how can he come? How can he age in a timeline when he in that timeline when he created a completely different one?
He created a new timeline that he's living in.
Yeah,
he's not in their.
He can't age and show up in that one. Yeah.
So what should have happened is they Hulk flipped the switch for him to come back. He never comes back, and they never know what happened to him. Mm-hmm. That's what should have happened by their own rules that they explained in the movie.
Yep, I agree.
Well, the good news is that the Russos. Well, the Russos in 6 weeks
is like, look, there are different ways to do time travel. Like the Arrowverse does it different with the Flash. Back to the Future is different. But if you establish these rules early in the movie and then you contradict those rules later on, all I'm saying is you contradict your own rules. Now, I liked it. I liked it. They're passing the shield to Sam. I liked all that, but it still contradicts your storyline.
No, I'm telling you,
Slow-Mo, look, the Russo brothers
fix it. All he had to do was use
the Russo brothers are going to do a Q&A in 6 weeks, and that will probably be the #1 question they get.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
He used the Pym particles after he lived his life with her. He used the Pym particles to jump back into their timeline at the right time to wait for them.
He held on the Pym particles.
Hey, there's so many.
They have him in the
suit. But here's the thing: there's so much.
Nothing bad happened to the suit for 70. Like you guys are adding context and stuff.
Yes, but you can't explain the whole thing and show everything that happened, right? So basically they left it up to your imagination, and it's a cop-out because the director can say, oh, he did this, this, and this because he met up with even Howard Stark back then to design this or whatever. Anything could be a cop-out at this point. But the main thing is that he did mess up the timeline. Even if he was within the same timeline, it's messed up regardless. And this is a way they can introduce new characters. They can introduce the X-Men and other things, and
I have a question. Do you think Loki will be back? Because if Slow-Mo's saying like, okay, there's a new timeline because Loki existed and prevailed. Like,
because they went back.
He took the Tesseract.
He took the Tesseract.
Yeah. But then they go back and get it from the 1970s.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. He still has possession of that
Tesseract back to the moment from that he also took it. I think what's going to happen with Loki, because he's got his own show on Disney Plus coming later on. They're probably going to explore what happens, where Loki went when he disappeared with the Tesseract in this movie.
I think that it's going to be like him using that Tesseract. He's going to be jumping, and he's already the god of mischief.
So they said it's going to be quantum
leap style. Basically, it's going to be like quantum leap style. So he's going to be using the Tesseract to basically jump around and create chaos.
And then it's like I mean, honestly, when it comes to time travel, that's like really a slippery slope because, first of all, I mean, it's not real. That we know of. So it's just kind of hard in the sense that it's like, I feel like there's really nothing that can be done when it comes to time travel because they will just make something up, you know?
And it's like I said, I get it. I get why they did it because you got to give Cap a send off, right? But then I also get why they chose the rules the way they did because if you think about it, if you go by your typical time travel rule,
it'd be like Back to the Future 2 when Biff time machine. Remember they had to like let the events play out to get the machine back. So
exactly because then you have to try to like undo so many different things. Like Thanos from the past comes to the future, gets murked. Then you're like, well, since he's not there in the past to do all the stuff he did, does all that go away and there's a new timeline? Like they can't go through all that. So they created their own time travel rules where it says like everything that happens in that period of time is stuck that way. It doesn't change.
That's the same way it is in the comic books because every universe in the comic books has its own number. So basically when they're going through these universe, they're jumping back and forth between quote unquote these numbered universes.
World 3 and World 52. Universe,
it's just like when the lady's explaining it to Hulk on the top of the building. She's like, all these things exist. So just because they jump in and out of these realities doesn't mean that that person, quote unquote, disappears from that reality unless they actually disappeared in that reality. Meaning, like,
yeah, it's too confusing.
Yeah, it's time travel. Any time travel movie is confusing.
Yeah.
That's why you can have two people that are like clones of each other in one timeline because that other person doesn't disappear just because they move timelines.
And
Yeah.
one thing,
Real quick, Fonz, I just want to say I really like that your icon is pulsing. That's so cool.
Yeah, that is dope.
Oh yeah, I made that. But here's the thing that's cool. Like, you watch this movie for casuals that don't understand all the nuances, all the little dialogue that was used from previous movies and stuff. At least you can go in and enjoy a comic book movie. What happened to just going and enjoying these comic
agree.
books for what
Hey,
they
what's
are?
wrong with going and picking up and enjoying a comic book? If you're gonna come out and criticize a comic book movie, go. I've been reading comic books for 30 years, so it pisses me off when people who are like casuals who aren't into these movies criticize the movie. Is like, you don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
But my point is, but my point is, you know, it's a comic book movie. You got to suspend disbelief in a lot of areas anyway. Like, this is.
I'm just saying, if the hardcores like us aren't mad because they're stepping all over like canon literature, then why are you mad about some bullshit in a movie that is like is less than nothing?
Yeah, because it's always loosely based on the stories.
Yeah, like, come on, bro.
Very loose.
Get
But
together.
I mean, because parts of this were Secret Wars, parts, you know, were Infinity.
I think, they blended like basically Dark Reign, Secret Wars. I think that they're going to basically, by bringing Asgard to Earth, they're basically going to try to use like the Dark Avengers and like the Dark Reign.
Have they introduced in order to do a Dark Avengers, they're going to have to bring in Harry Osborn.
That's what I'm saying. So just like you were just saying about when Cap went back and disrupted their actual timeline. So maybe Osborn becomes president somehow through. You get what I'm saying? Him reach timeline.
I don't know if they'll go that far into depth with the story,
but I know that there's they dropped a lot of Easter eggs for Dark Reign, and
well, they dropped a big old Easter egg for Namor.
But I mean, it was
a lot of people missed it.
It was
they did have that in the beginning.
It was the most common timeline that was like Easter eggs that was dropped in that movie was Dark Reign.
Well, what they need to do is really reboot the whole Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, bring in Galactus. You know,
this is an opportunity to reboot a lot of shit.
Unfortunately, we will never get what we got with this chapter. Okay, this chapter was just epic, and
we can't say that yet. We got to give them a chance.
Well, no, but the thing is like no matter what happens in the future, even if they bring back Captain America with different actors or Iron Man, it's never going to be the same, right? It's never going to be the same. But is that because it's not the same quality, or is that because we're just spoiled by what? Because you usually get spoiled. Like for me, I don't know about how you guys are, but when I think of the X-Men movies, I think of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
See Hugh's going. Yeah, I mean, the old
no one else played that role.
Well, of course, but Jean, like when I look at the new X-Men, like I look at Sophie Turner or whatever, I don't see her as Jean Grey. I see her as Sansa Stark. Okay, that's I don't like
that whole X-Men Fonz. That whole X-Men.
Can we start wrapping this up? Because I want to go.
Okay.
I've been doing this and by we I mean y'all, because I've been here.
Can I make one request? If they do a reboot, I want one request. Please redo Apocalypse. Apocalypse is my favorite villain, and they made him seem like an English teacher.
He looks like Thanos.
Yeah, I don't know about that. He's like an English school teacher. Like, stop, please. Bring back
villains.
Are you guys watching the Dark Phoenix Surfer? Y'all watching that?
I'm not watching that.
The only reason that movie even went forward is because they had pretty much already finished it, and by the time Disney had purchased Fox, so
that movie is going to bomb.
How y'all recreating the scene from X-Men: The Final Stand with like Logan and Jean? I noticed they're recreating that only with Cyclops and Jean.
Well,
I don't know anything about that movie because I don't watch trash. But let's just wrap it up. So many people on the panel today. It was great. I just want to. Moss, when are you actually going to come on Scumcast?
When my wife stops making me cut the lawn 35 times a day and painting the house and power washing the no, as soon as the opportunity presents itself, I will be on.
That sounds good. All right, cool. Let's do these outros. Thank you, Moss, and thank you, Slow-Mo, for holding down the fort. I appreciate it.
No problem.
No problem.
Okay, so we'll go with the one who talked the least. Wilson, bye. Say bye.
I'll say bye.
Did you say bye? Okay.
Yeah, I said bye.
Slow-Mo.
Yeah, Slow-Mo Backslap. You can catch me on Twitter, same name. And good discussion, guys. Had a lot of fun. Appreciate it. I'm out.
Hold on. Slow-Mo, can you take over for the outros?
Sure. Moss, go ahead.
MM2K, Broadband Bullies PNTS Network. Check me out when I'm not trolling on Twitter. I'm getting clowned for liking Fallout 76, but check out the channel.
Oh God.
The game of the century.
That's all I gotta say.
Go ahead, Meta.
Yo, it's metaphorical. My bad. I was late. I thought it was 8:30, so sorry I missed it. Shout out to everybody on the panel. It was a good discussion from what I came into. Nice to see everyone here. Hasta luego. You know how to find me. It's your distinguished ruffian, metaphorical low life, everywhere.
Don't let me play the violin.
Fun.
All right. You can catch me at Jay Fonzarelli on Twitter and here on YouTube, making gaming videos every week. And also, I have another channel, Fight Culture Podcast. I do a live mixed martial arts podcast there, talk about the UFC, Bellator, all of it. We just did one right now. Catch us there every Sunday at 1 p.m. West Coast time. And also, RDX over on Dealer Gaming's channel every Tuesday, 5 p.m. West Coast time. And before I go, I just want to wrap this whole talk up, for me anyway, by saying that we will never have another villain like we had in Thanos. The just the way he was, most compelling villain we've ever seen in the MCU, and I think we'll ever see in the MCU.
That's why they need to reboot Apocalypse.
He looks like Thanos.
Oh, you know what? No, we need to bring in Onslaught. That would definitely merge the X-Men and the Avengers because they both fought Onslaught. That'd be great.
Oh yeah.
But let's not extend this too far. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate the invite. Great topic. Seems like everybody enjoyed it, and people in the chat, go check it out and look for those Easter eggs. Great time. Appreciate the invite, guys.
No problem. Clifton?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Cool. And Big Cloud.
Yeah, Big Cloud Gaming. You can find me on YouTube at Big Cloud Gaming. Again on Twitter, same name. Shout out to everybody on the panel. Good to be back on here with you guys. It's been a while. And yeah, to go see the movie. It was great. Definitely great. And I agree with Fonz. We'll never have a villain like Thanos again. But we do have the Joker film to look forward to. So
Disagree.
DC.
Spoiled.
Sorry about that. My sister came to talk to me. Say hi, sister.
Hello.
Okay.
Hi,
all right.
sister.
Yes, I have a sister. So
Are you taller than Luca?
Yes, she's taller than me. How tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
She's 5'8". I'm
wow.
okay.
Like, look down on you.
Okay. Anyway, shout out to everyone in the chat who have the questions and comments. I appreciate you guys. Have a nice night. I'll see you Saturday for Scumcast, whatever time I decide to do it. Bye.